Hi, namaste everyone. Thanks for joining Hindi University. Welcome to the second week of January. In this class, I thought of, picking up some grammar related topics, which will help us with further, conversational related things as well. So we will be covering some Hindi compound pose positions. So we'll be covering some compound post positions which we haven't done in the past, and we'll make some sentences on top of it. Give me just 1 minute so I can unmute. Okay, so some of the post positions you guys are already familiar with are like ka, ke, uh, ki, say, which is from, ne, which is used in the whenever you're using like transitive verb in the past tense, you use ne. Similarly, may, like Delhi may, Paris may, in, right? So these are basically post positions, right? But when we talk about compound post positions, they are a little bit more like along with post position, are you adding some more keywords, right? So examples of compound post positions are ke aage. Ke aage is in front of, right? So when we add aap, which is you, and you add ke aage, it's aapke aage, which is in front of you, in front of you, right? So, aapke aage. So when I say aapke aage car hai, that means like there's a car in front of you, or aapke aage bus hai, there's a bus in front of you, right? Or mere aage speed breaker hai, right? So there's a speed breaker right ahead of me. So that's a compound post position because it comprises of like more keywords, more than one. You had k, which is like your post position, but along with that you have k aage. So I've covered several of these compound positions in the shorter, earlier videos, such as k aage, k piche, which is behind, k upar, which is above, or k niche is like below, k samne, in front of, right? In this class, I'm going to cover something more like different kind of compound post positions, and these are just three compound positions which I'll be covering. But the idea here is like I want to discuss more applications. So it's not just the number of compound post positions, but areas and the places where you can cover them, right? So the first one I have is की जगह है. की जगह है, and the way you write it is like you have a key and जगह है, j, g, and then her. की जगह है, right? की जगह is in place of, in place of. Okay, की जगह. Anybody knows how to use it in the sentences, or can you think of, if you can think of some of the examples, feel free to write it down in the in the chat box, so I can also kind of cover that. की जगह है. So when I say as an example, you have man, so this is kind of like a pronoun, and you have की जगह है. It's basically मेरी जगह है, in place of me, मेरी जगह है, right? You have आप plus की जगह है, आपकी जगह है, in place of you. Okay, but still not very clear, right? What do you mean by that? Like आपकी जगह in place of you, right? So let's see, how we can make like bigger sentences with that. But as of now, just like focus on like the compound postposition keyword, right? So if I were to cover some more example, if I say, let's say, soda, which is like your soft drink, right? Pepsi, Coke, or anything, right? Soda की जगह है पानी, right? So it means basically water in place of cold drink or soda. It is also basically instead of. It's the same thing in Hindi, instead of. So if I say that uh, मुझे सोडा की जगह पानी पसंद है, right? It means that I like water instead of soda, right? Or I'll take, if I say that मैं सोडा की जगह पानी पीऊंगा, that means like I'll drink water in place of soda or instead of a soda, right? um, let's cover more and more examples so that way and like always, towards the end of the class, we'll leave about 15 minutes just for the discussion. And what I want you to do is like think about like so we'll be covering three post positions, three compound post positions. So for each of the compound post position, think of three sentences. So write down three sentences, as we are doing this class, so that way I make sure that you understand how to use them on a day-to-day life, right? And think about sentences, and if you want to write it down, try it as well, so that way I can, in the chat box I can like review it along with you. So let's do more. Soda ki jagah pani. Okay. Saturday, which is your shanivar, की जगह Sunday or रविवार, right? So when you say Saturday की जगह, okay. So when I say Saturday की जगह Sunday, Sunday in place of Saturday or Sunday instead of Saturday, right? So let's say if you're going to someone's house and the original plan was to go on Saturday, right? And now you're changing it because of some conflict, and now you're telling them that you'll come to their house on Sunday, right? Um, so again, the verb here is like to come, and now you're telling them that I will come. You're telling them that you'll come on Sunday in place of Saturday or instead of Saturday. So I want to give you this opportunity. Give me just 1 minute. There is some echo in the background, so I can. Okay, good. So can you think of like how will you say the same thing in Hindi, that I will come to your house on Sunday instead of Saturday or in place of Saturday? So I'll just give you some time. Again, if the question is I will come to your house So I will come to your house on Saturday instead of Sunday. Okay, your house, and okay, more people. Again, the basic philosophy is like break it down. I will come, right? That's the first step, and then to your house is the second one, right? And then Saturday instead of Sunday. That's the third one, and then you combine all of them, and then it will be much easier for you. Right, I left you out. The first one is I will come, which is मैं आऊंगा और मैं आऊंगी. Right, I will come to your house. आपके घर. आपके घर में और आपके घर को. Right, आपके घर में. That's why it's आपके. Okay, and then the last one, as I told you, it's like Saturday की जगह है. की जगह Sunday. You can use both may or ko, right? Now all we have to do is like combine all of them together, right? So which is like may, and if you combine all of them, this is first sentence, this is second one, and this is third one. When you combine all of them, your answer is basically मैं आपके घर. So here, if you even if you don't specify it, it's kind of like implied that you mean may or को. So मैं आपके घर सैटरडे की जगह और शनिवार की जगह and then you have Sunday. uh, Sunday आ unga or aungi for a girl, right? So what you've done is like this is your subject, this is the verb, and everything will go in between that. Okay, so we'll do more examples to make sure that you kind of understand thoroughly. Okay. uh, One thing that I want to tell you that ki jagah hai, there's another synonym for it that you can use. So this is ki jagah. You will also see ki bajaye. This is also exactly the same. The usage and the meaning and everything is same. Ki ba ja with a and then yeah, ki bajaye. It's exactly same, right? So Saturday ki bajaye Sunday. Similarly, like soda ki bajaye pani, right? So if I were to give you another quiz, which is um, let's give you simple and then I'll make it complicated. Um, they eat healthy food instead of junk food. Okay, so take your time and then see if you can write it down. How do you say this one in Hindi? As always, try to break it down. This is your first sentence. Um, Healthy food instead of junk should be simple for you. I'm gonna give you some time. Okay. Okay. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, so I'll help you out here. Wait. Okay, so the first one is they eat, which is again, as you can probably pointed out, it's a present indefinite. So that is वे खाते हैं. वे खाते हैं. They eat. Now you have healthy food instead of junk food, right? So it's basically junk food की बजाय healthy food, right? So all you're doing is वे, which is they, and then junk food. You can just simply call it junk food की जगह और की बजाय healthy food खाते हैं. हेल्दी फूड खाते हैं. वे जंक फूड की जगह और की बजाय हेल्दी फूड खाते हैं. Okay. If there's a generic term for it, for anything which is harmful, right? I'm going to cover that, otherwise it's going to get very specific. So anything which is harmful, you call it hanikarak, right? So anything which is harmful, which basically hani karak. Hani is actually loss. It means loss. Karak is like, source of, right? So it's basically hani, ha with a, and then na with e, ka a rak, hanikarak, right? So if I want to say like simply junk food, I can also say hanikarak khana, right? Hanikarak khana, right? Or if you want to simply want to say hanikarak material, right? Or something which is harmful, right? You'll say hanikarak. It's a little difficult, but I'll still write it down. So basically, anything which is hanikarak material, it's hanikarak. It's one word. Uh, pra da pradarth, हानिकारक पदार्थ, पदार्थ, हानिकारक पदार्थ. So you can use it generically for anywhere, basically, that if you think that there are some harmful substance in this particular product, you can say that यह हानिकारक है, this is harmful, और इसमें in this हानिकारक पदार्थ है, there are some harmful substance in this particular thing, right? So as of now, just remember this, like keyword hanikar. This itself will kind of help you, right? um, I could say वे हानिकारक खाने की बजाय healthy खाना खाते हैं. Or the other one is difficult, but it's स्वास्थ्यवर्धक, right? So healthy. Um, Health is health. When you say health in Hindi, it's swasthya. Swasthya. That's health. Swasthya, right? So remember when you say that how are you doing? How's your health, right? You say आपकी तबीयत कैसी है, right? तबीयत is nothing but स्वास्थ्य. Some people say आपका स्वास्थ्य कैसा है? How's your health, right? So again, it's swasthya. Yes, swasthya is health, right? And healthy is स्वास्थ्य वर्धक. स्वास्थ्यवर्धक. स्वास्थ्यवर्धक. So it's basically half some va swasthya This is half th, and then here Vardhak. On top of the there is a half r. So it's kind of difficult, but just follow it. Even if you don't memorize it or remember it, that's completely fine. As of now, just try to hear the sound, and hopefully when you hear it multiple times, it'll sound easier. Okay, so let's do some more example for you know instead of. Okay, so um, I use my phone. I use my iPhone instead of laptop. Let's make it a little bit more difficult these days. Okay, so it's kind of complex. Think about it. I use my iPhone instead of laptops these days, or these days can come before I also. So take your time, think about it, how you will divide it, and then come up with a sentence. Okay. Anyone else? Janet, you want to try it as well? There's no negative in this, so just give it a try. Okay. So it's not that difficult, if you think about it. I use my iPhone instead of laptop these days. So this should be simple for you. For iPhone instead of laptop. Um, so that one is like laptop की जगह है phone, right? So what you're saying is मैं I use it's basically मैं. If you want to keep it simple, मैं use करता हूँ और मैं use करती हूँ. Um, or if you want to use the Hindi word for it, as Chelsea rightly pointed out, मैं इस्तेमाल इस्तेमाल करता हूँ और मैं इस्तेमाल करती हूँ. That's for use, right? But let's see how we can fit other things. These days, one word would be आजकल. आजकल is these days, or you can also say in दिनों. Days is then, right? So you can also use in दिनों for these days, or आजकल. There's a movie in Hindi called Love Aajkal, which is like, if you think about it, there is a English word and then there is a Hindi word, right? First one is like so basically love these days, right? So it's you can watch it if you want. It's kind of okay movie, right? So first one is मैं इस्तेमाल करता हूँ और मैं इस्तेमाल करती हूँ. Second one is these days is आजकल, and the third one is phone instead of laptop, right? So laptop की जगह है phone. So if you just combine all of them, you'll have your answer. So मैं either you can say आजकल before मैं, or you can say आजकल here. Both of them are correct. So you can say मैं आजकल लैपटॉप की जगह और की बजाय लैपटॉप की जगह फोन इस्तेमाल करता हूँ. और करती हूँ. So I hope this makes sense. I'll do one more and then we'll switch to the next compound post position. Okay. This should be simple because we have been doing these kind of. So the next one is I will travel to. Let's do a different tense actually. So I'll make it difficult. So I visited Mumbai instead of Delhi. So let's do it. I change the tense to kind of like give you practice of something else. So, I visited Mumbai instead of Delhi. You can also say I went to. That's that's acceptable as well. I went to Mumbai instead of Delhi. Hmm. So it was a tricky one actually. The reason is because um, I used to visit. When you say I used to visit Mumbai instead of Delhi, then you can say that मैं दिल्ली की जगह मुंबई घूमती थी और travel करती थी. But if you notice it, it's basically I went to, right. Um, Basically it's a past indefinite, right. What you're saying is the verb here is gai, right. So it's like like you have in English, right. You have go, went, and gone, right. So in this case went is this is jana, but when you have past is gai, right. So as you can see that Chelsea also wrote it down. What you're saying here is मैं, which is I, मैं, you're saying दिल्ली की बजाय और की जगह. This time I'm going to use बजाय. दिल्ली की जगह मुंबई गई. मैं दिल्ली की बजाय मुंबई गई. If you want to say this year, right. uh, this year you'll simply say इस साल. Either you can say it before मैं, so you'll say इस साल मैं दिल्ली की बजाय मुंबई गई. Okay. You can use it before the subject or even after the subject. Both of them are right. Both of them will convey the same meaning. Okay. So I hope this will help you, and now you feel more comfortable using this compound post position. Even when you hear someone saying it, it should be clear to you. So please write down three sentences, three applications of this particular compound post positions. And then see if we can, towards the end of the class, I'm going to give you some time, and if you can, go over your sentences, that will help me, get an assurance that you kind of understood it and you'll be able to use it on a day-to-day life. So we'll move to our next, compound post position. So I gave more time on the first one because it's like to make sure that we cover more examples. Now it will be much simpler in the following compound post positions. Second one is K साथ. K साथ, and K साथ is you have a K with A, साथ, th, K साथ, together. के साथ. Okay, so let's look at the applications of it. um, you have पानी के साथ juice, right? It means like it means juice along with water. पानी के साथ juice. Okay. um, More examples, right? Second one I have is, so this is, think of it as like one example. Second one I have is, um, रोटी के साथ चावल. Roti, I'm sure most of you know. Chawal is rice. Right? Do you know the meaning of this? Roti ke saath chawal. Think think about it and write it down. Roti ke saath chawal. Okay. So this one is rice along with roti or bread. Right? Right? Roti ke saath chawal. Rice along with roti. So basically together, right? So if I were to say that, uh, क्या आप पानी के साथ जूस पिएंगे? Right? So you have क्या आप पानी के साथ जूस पिएंगे? Will you drink a juice along with some water, right? Or if I were to kind of ask you like क्या आप रोटी के साथ चावल खाएंगी? Right? So will you have rice along with roti, right? So so that's kind of like the basics of it. We'll do some more examples of it. So let's see. If this time I'll do a reverse quiz. मैं जॉन के साथ मैथ्स का होमवर्क करूंगी. So this time I did this is the Hindi sentence. You have to tell me, the equivalent of this in your native language. You can use English or Spanish or French. मैं जॉन के साथ मैथ्स का होमवर्क करूंगी. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So in this case, the way you're using it is like I will, because it's karungi. Karna is to do, but you're doing karungi, future indefinite. That means like a girl must be saying it, right? So I will do my homework or maths homework along with or with John, right? Ke saath. The notion is still ke saath, that we will sit together or we will do it together, right? Let's do some more reverse exercises here. Another one is Okay, it's like वे खाने के साथ वे खाने के साथ पानी नहीं पीते हैं. दिस इज पीते हैं. वे खाने के साथ पानी नहीं पीते हैं. So I tried to make it a little bit tricky, but it will get you thinking as well. Think about it and see if you can come up with a equivalent English or French or any other Spanish language. वे खाने के साथ पानी नहीं पीते हैं. Okay, good, right? So what we are saying is, like, as you rightly pointed out, this is like पीते हैं. पीना is to drink. पीते हैं, it's basically a present indefinite. So they, simplest way would be वे नहीं पीते हैं. They do not drink. खाने के साथ, right? So um, they do not drink water. They do not drink water along with the food, along with the meals or food, along with the meals. So I hope this is clearer. If you already knew about it, think about more advanced examples. So that way you kind of build on top of what you already know. I'll do some more, and then we'll jump to the last one, and then we'll open it up for discussion. Third one, I'm going to do it myself. So मैं आपके साथ let's say मैं आपके साथ tell me the name of very beautiful country, or like a, have you seen this movie, Anya's recent movie Tamasha? They covered like a French, Corsica. I hope I'm writing it correctly. Corsica or Corsica. Correct me if this is SICA, right? SE, okay. SEGA. Oh, it's an Italian city, or okay, somewhere in Europe, right? Agnes is correcting me, so I'm thinking the spelling is not correct. Let me quickly look up. I think it's okay. It's Corsica, right? So this one, SE, okay. It was, I mean, somehow the Wikipedia is saying SICA. It probably will is spelled differently, probably. Oh, I see. In French, you will write it as CORSE. Yeah, that's how it is written for French. Yeah, you're right now. So basically, in the movie, pretty much when they were saying it in Hindi, they were saying Corsica, right? So the bottom line is, मैं आपके साथ, when you want to say Corsica, course, घूमना चाहता हूँ, right? Basically, you're saying that you want to travel. I want to travel along with you. I want to travel to this place, course, along with you, right? Uh, but I'm very positive in the movie they kept saying this thing in Hindi, Corsica, right? So that's also another use of ke saath, right? Um, Last one, and then we'll move to the new compound pose position. So like मैं फोन के साथ फोन के साथ चार्जर खरीदूंगा, और फोन के साथ एक्स्ट्रा चार्जर खरीदूंगा. So this should be simpler for you, that I will buy an extra charger along with my phone, right? Um, okay. So we'll move to the next one, so that way so again, the concept is still the same. Towards the end of the class, if you can think of at least three sentences, where you can use ke saath, right? And that will give me assurance that you understood this particular topic, right? So I'll move to the last one, last compound post position, which is के लिए के लिए, right? Which is for, right? So when you say आप, basically के लिए in the center, मैं, हम, वे, right? So first one is आपके लिए, for you, right? For you. So when you say आपके लिए सरप्राइज है, so there's a surprise for you, right? आपके लिए सरप्राइज है. uh, मैं प्लस के लिए, मेरे लिए, for me, right? मेरे लिए, right? So for example, like imagine a situation where like dad is coming from a different city, and the kid is like, पापा आप मेरे लिए क्या लाए, मेरे लिए क्या लाए, what did you, or what do you bring, you know for me, मेरे लिए, right? मेरे लिए, for me. हम के लिए is हमारे लिए, for us, हमारे लिए. वे प्लस के लिए, उनके लिए, for them, उनके लिए. ओके. वे प्लस के लिए, उनके लिए. So I hope this is clear. I'll do some more examples here, so that way you can think of some advanced usage of के लिए, right? So let's say in Hindi, मैं मम्मी के लिए, pay attention, okay? I might trick you somewhere. मैं मम्मी के लिए स्वेटर बुनना चाहती हूँ. मैं मम्मी के लिए स्वेटर बुनना चाहती हूँ. What do you think is the translation of it, the English one? Okay, very close. Think about it, like you have चाहना, चाहती हूँ. That is right, actually. So what you're saying is like, I want to knit, I want to knit a sweater I want to knit a sweater for my mother or for my mom. Okay, for my mother. So the reason I tricked you here because I don't want to keep doing the same tenses. So here you have चाहना. So right when you're saying मैं चाहती हूँ I want to for a girl, मैं चाहता हूँ for a guy. So what you're saying is like I want to knit a sweater for my mother. So I hope this kind of made you think a little bit more. So Burna is actually to knit or to weave. It's exactly you're right about it. So your guess is correct about Bunana, right? Usually when you have wool, right, you kind of knit, you make the sweater with it. You can, if you want to keep it simple, you can say banana chahti hu, but banana is like a generic word for to make, right? So I thought, along with it, you'll learn a new verb as well, bunana. Okay. Um, we'll do one more example. Okay. Okay. के लिए we'll do some more. आप मेरे लिए, so this one I'll try to do a little bit romantic. क्या कर सकते हो? Think about it. What's the meaning of it? आप मेरे लिए क्या कर सकते हो? Okay. You make a guess and I'll tell you what is sakna. For example, when you say मैं दौड़ सकता हूँ, it means I can run, right? मैं पढ़ सकता हूँ, I can read or I can study. I gave you a lot of clues. That's right, actually. So आप मेरे लिए क्या कर सकते हो is like what can you do? Can you do for me? What can you do for me? Again, the fundamental thing goes to Kayle, that you can pinpoint how it is used and where it is used. But I hope this was helpful and you were able to learn three post position in this class, which is the first one we started with ki jagah, which is in place of or instead of. Second one was ke saath, which is along with or together. And the third one was ke liye, which is for, right? So I'll stop broadcasting. So folks who are watching live on YouTube, you can always suggest a new idea for the next class. But now I'll open it up for the panel discussion so people can kind of like do group exercise or group conversation. We'll see you next week, folks who are watching on live YouTube streaming.